Hello and welcome to another collective worship. May the Lord be with you and also with you. You remembered, fantastic. So this morning or this afternoon, whatever time you are joining us, we're going to be thinking about change and how when things are different it can be difficult. Now, I do not like change at all. I know how I like things done, and if anyone tries to change it, I get very, very upset, and you don't want to see me upset. But during this strange period of lockdown, I've definitely learned that change can also be good, and even though some things are different, that doesn't mean they have to be difficult. So we're going to open our collective worship with a game, because I know you really enjoyed playing our game, our quiz last week. So we're going to play a little game of Spot the Difference. So just as last time, you may need to pause the video and your teachers might want to ask you, and hands up obviously, to see if you can spot the differences. Let's give it a go. Okay, so let's go over our answers, and we're going to start on the left hand side of our picture. So the first one is that there are spots on the first picture and no spots on the curtains on the second one. Our next one is that on the first picture there are sunbeams and the second there aren't. Sticking with the window, there are more lines on the window for the window panes on the first picture. In the first picture there is a hill in the background and there's not in the second. In our fruit bowl, in the first picture there's two green watermelons, and the second one there's a green and an orange. We've also got two lemons on the table on the first picture and only one on the second. In the glasses on the right hand side, on the first picture the glass is orange and the second one it's got pink in it. Staying with the glasses, in the lemon glass, the yellow glass, sorry, on the first picture there is a lemon and the second there isn't. The little girl holding the ice lolly, on the first picture it's yellow and pink, and the second picture it is brown and pink. And the girl's collar has reappeared on the second picture. So there we have it, all 10 spot the differences. Fantastic, I hope you were able to spot all of those differences. Our story this week is Noah's Ark. Now it's one of my favourite stories, but we're not actually going to focus on the story which you may have heard a few times. You know, guy builds a big boat, all the animals come in, the rain comes down, and then it all disappears, and then woohoo, everything's fine. We're going to look at the woohoo, everything's fine section. But just in case you have forgotten Noah's Ark story, here is a little recap of how it goes.
There was a man named Noah. God found favour in Noah. But there were lots of bad people on the earth too. So God had a job for Noah to do. He must build an ark. He must build an ark for him and his family. When the ark was completed, Noah and his wife climbed aboard. He was then joined by his sons and his sons' wives. Then called all the animals up to the ark, 2 of every kind. The animals entered the ark to be saved. Off they went, all into into the ark. When they were all safely in, Noah shut the door. And it wasn't long until it started to rain. And rain. And rain. Until eventually the whole earth was flooded.
Okay, you got it? So big boat, all the animals goes in. God has sent the rain, which creates a flood, which restarts the whole earth again. Can you see where I'm going with this? So the world that Noah left when he went into the ark is a completely different world that when he steps out of the ark. One of the first things that God tells Noah to do is that he's actually able to eat some of the animals. Okay, and that might sound a bit strange, but that's just like us having a nice Sunday roast, having chicken or sausage or things like that. Because before the ark, it sounds like they just ate fruit and vegetables. But why couldn't they do that when they got off the ark? It was all soggy, wasn't it? So they had to change the way they were living. There was no houses. There was only Noah's family. There was only a select few animals that were there. Everything had changed. Noah and his family were safe, but the life they left behind was completely different to their new life. And that must have been so difficult. Everything they knew had just been flipped upside down. But how wonderful is our God to give Noah and his family and all those animals a fresh new start, a new way of living. God started the human race again through Noah. He saw righteousness in Noah. He trusted Noah to start all over again. I wonder how many differences you can think about in your schools. I bet there's quite a lot. So sometimes those differences and those changes can be difficult, but I'm sure you can agree that those changes and those differences needed to happen to get you back to school safely. So sometimes we need to start again. Sometimes things need to change. Sometimes things need to be different. But our biggest challenge is the same one that Noah had. God gave him this new chance and this new change and all these new differences. But what Noah's challenge was not to go back to the old ways, because then that would have been a complete waste of time. And God is challenging us today to still do that. I'm not sure if you've seen or you've read in the news all of the positive effects that lockdown has had on our environment. Fog has been lifting from cities all over the world. We can hear the birds more, all our emissions have come down. All of these wonderful things we've changed, and what we can't do is flip back into our old ways. So our challenge this week for you is to think about how things have changed, how things have been different, but what are the positives that we can take away from it? Okay, we're going to close our collective worship with a prayer. I invite you to put your hands together and close your eyes if you're able to do so. Father God, thank you for the changes and the differences around us. We thank you for all those things that have come before, and we ask you to be with us as we step into our new normal at home, in our schools, in our town and in our country, and also around the world. Help us to be able to see the positives that changes and differences can make. Help us to be able to see what we can take forward. We thank you for all that you are doing here in this place. We thank you for the birds. We thank you for the environment. We thank you for the things that you have given to us to look after. And just like Noah when he was starting again, looking after the planet, we hope that we can do the same. We ask all of this in your name. Amen. Well, thank you for joining us for another collective worship. We hope you have a fantastic week and we'll see you again next week. Bye bye.